Hi all! Today, as I work on this piece with my Ohuhu markers, I want to share a little bit of my journey with alcohol markers, why I chose these ones, and how they've inspired my creative process. Before I dive in, I just want to add this quick note. Any affiliate links for Ohuhu markers or other products that I mentioned will be clearly marked in the description box below if there are any affiliations or sponsors. The links will help support the channel at no extra cost to you, and you can check those out. They'll be clearly marked below. So it all started about 15 years ago with markers. I was illustrating a story, and back then I didn't really understand the power of different mediums. I played around with a lot of different mediums, but I didn't really understand the power and choosing one or focusing in. So I needed a quick way to render my ideas. So I grabbed whatever alcohol markers I could find at the time. I went to the art supply store, grabbed some pretty expensive markers and a marker pad, and I didn't really care about the brands or prices. I just got the job done. I illustrated what I needed to. And from what I remember, I enjoyed the markers. They did stick out to me in my mind, but they didn't appeal so much that I kept pursuing them. Fast forward to a few years ago, a fine artist friend of mine, an acrylic painter, got into marker art during some winter months. She got the highest end alcohol markers and began to create these beautiful painterly pieces. Just really, really gorgeous with ink and alcohol markers. She was layering the colors with all of her color expertise, and I was truly amazed. But at the time, I didn't feel markers were for me. I illustrate sweet, whimsical picture books for children, usually ages 2 to 8 years old. And my style just didn't seem to align with the style I was seeing my friend render and paint with markers. And so I didn't gravitate to it. I also believe there are seasons for mediums and artwork. And so I look back now and I realize that just wasn't my season. It didn't light me up at the time. But then some things began to change in me, as all seasons do change. I started to see marker art that did speak to my style. I saw illustrators that were creating work that was playful, bright, and whimsical, just like the feel I go for in my picture books. And I felt this spark of curiosity. Could this be my season for markers? I also believe that as artists, even when we're established, even when we've chosen our medium and our style is known, we should keep exploring. I'm always pushing myself to explore something new. It keeps us fresh and curious. It adds new tools to our creative toolbox. And when we explore, we don't have to spend top dollar. So for me, student grade or mid-range tools are perfect for exploration and discovery. Later on, if I get really good at something and it really clicks with me, I'll make a bigger investment financially into the tools. So I discovered through some surfing on Amazon that Ohuhu markers were affordable, well-reviewed, and had this huge range of colors. You seem to get so many colors for the price. So I ordered a set of 160. And was so excited to just try them out for the sake of exploration. When they arrived, I realized I had ordered the chisel tip and fine tip combo. And I actually didn't know that there was so many choices of tips and combos. And I had really hoped, I guess in my imagination, I was hoping and thinking I was getting a brush tip. I was imagining myself with a set of markers with brush tips. So at first, I was a little disappointed just simply because I didn't know the difference and I had ordered the chisel tips. But you know what? The chisel tip has really pushed me to experiment in new ways. And though I plan to get the brush tip soon, I've really enjoyed this season of exploration with the chisel tip Ohuhu markers more than I expected. And I'd also agree with the good reviews of the Ohuhu markers. They've been really great for me. And I don't even know that I would upgrade, even if I continue on in my marker journey. I'm not sure I feel the need to upgrade. These have been great. So I give them 5 stars. Now, 160 colors, though, can be overwhelming. I do tend to lean towards limited palettes when I do artwork, just simply so that I don't get color overwhelm or too much going on in a piece of art. And so I do have a whole other video on how I break my markers into smaller limited palettes. You'll see me illustrate a teapot with Ohuhu markers and a limited palette. And I just kind of talk about limiting the palette to avoid overwhelm. But with a focused approach, I really do feel like these markers, even in the big sets like mine of 160 colors, can become a really fabulous addition to a creative process. While I haven't illustrated a full children's picture book with alcohol markers yet, I do think that might be on the horizon for me. Typically, when I'm illustrating for children's picture books, I use a mix of watercolor and digital, or just straight up digital, Procreate on the iPad, and Photoshop. I do feel that these Ohuhu markers are preparing me, and they're helping me to hone my skills. Maybe a future picture book will be brought to life with markers from Mary Janelle. Anyway, I hope that this little story of my marker journey inspires you. If you've been curious about exploring new tools, give it a try. You never know where it might lead. And as a reminder, affiliate links are in the description box below. All kinds of info is in my show notes, including the marker colors that I use today, in case you have that 160 marker Ohuhu set lying around and you want to pull out the same colors and give this a try. I'd love to hear about your creative explorations in the comments. What mediums are you exploring right now, and how do you feel about the Ohuhu markers? Anyway, thanks for being around the channel, everyone. Until next time, bye for now.